to hit record now so that we've got that in motion. And again, we're going to give it a couple of minutes here because we're not quite at 7 a.m. Now, there were nearly 1,000 people who registered for this class by the time I woke up this morning, which is amazing. But Zoom is definitely not going to let 1,000 people come into the space. So for some of you, you are watching this as a recording. Others, you are moving through this live. When you get the recording of this, so we're going to try and flip this quickly based on how many people registered. Originally, we were going to try and send it on Monday. I think we're going to work a little quicker to get that out for you all. But I'm going to send it to you in two formats. So you're going to have the practice, the yoga movement, which will be 75 minutes. And then you're going to have the link for the fireside chat. Okay, so I will do my best this morning to give you modifications in different postures to either make it less challenging or more challenging. And then we will go from there. So we are going to be starting sitting upright on your mat this morning. So you can start off by getting yourself into that comfy position. You can have your water nearby, any of the things that you need to. Question down here. Yes, so you do not need to unmute. I've got all of you on mute and keep yourself that way. And then that way, if there's anything happening in the background at your home or mine, it stays in our house as opposed to in the land of Zoom. All right. Okay. So you stay where you are. I'm just going to size up here. So for those of you who've never joined me for a class before, obviously I'm doing it in our temporary home here in BC. We move into our new home in about 7 weeks. And so all kind of at some point when we come into standing postures, I'm going to move a little closer to adjust the screen, and then we will go from there. So you've got all your accoutrements to your side. We're going to start in that seated position. Find a comfortable seat. So when you're coming here, we're not trying to be all bound up into a cross-legged position. If you can soften the legs out a little bit, you could maybe take one of your blocks or that blanket that you have and fold it up under your bum. If it's more comfortable to sit like this, it does not matter. It's not about the shape that you are in your body. Find a place where you can be for the next couple of moments so that we can focus on your breathing, okay? So happy New Year's Eve. I think we probably say this every year at this time or another, but how is it already New Year's Eve again, and that we are transitioning into a new year? And I know these last couple of years have been like, whoa, there's been a lot of intensity. There has been a lot of uncertainty. There's been a lot of change. And, you know, we can't control a lot of the things that happen outside of us. And this is why, ladies, it is so important that we show up to some level of practice or habit or ritual, a gift that we give ourselves so that we can take that time to step outside of the outer chaos and to go into our bodies and to focus on our breath and to tune into her, to tune into the women that we are and ask her every single day, what do you need? How are you feeling? What can I do to support you? And the most simple place that this can begin is actually tuning into your breath. It's what we constrict, it's what we hold on to. It's the tool we forget that is free, that we have with us all the time. And so that's where our practice is going to begin this morning. We're going to close our eyes, and you can rest either your palms down on top of your knees or flip the palms so the back of the palm is to the knees and index fingers and thumbs together. So there's nothing to see in terms of what I am doing here. So give yourself permission to close your eyes, to relax your jaw, and to simply begin to notice and feel where and how your breath is moving. To relax your jaw, the creases around your eyes, to soften your forehead, to feel the coolness of your inhale through your nose, and the depth of your exhalation all the way out through your mouth. And again, inhaling through your nose. Noticing how it feels as you exhale. Relax your shoulders, settling them down. Feel that incredible new next breath coming across your collarbone. Feel your chest lift a little bit. Your back body soften. Relax down through your pelvis, your hips, and your thighs. Relax your feet. Move back into your breath, either choosing to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth, or notice how it feels if you inhale and exhale through your nose. With the lips softly closed, not pursing them, not forcing. How does it feel to intentionally breathe? Where are you still clenching and holding on in your body? You soften a little more. There's no anticipation. There's no what's coming next, having to think and be, 2 and 5 and 10 steps ahead. That is what we do as women. And I'm going to ask you to drop that today. You don't know what's coming. You don't know what the next cue is. You don't know the next movement, the next breath, the next thought. Be present where you are right now. Maybe that is your intention moving into a fresh new year. Brand new energy of allowing yourself to be present and to shift out of the energy of always trying to be one step ahead. It is exhausting to live your life like that. And what happens is you arrive at a moment in time and look back and go, where did the time go? The time went by constantly being in the energy of looking forward, of moving forward, of planning forward, of anticipating forward, and never allowing yourself to simply be. 2022 is the year of the woman. It's the year of us rising. It is the year of us releasing. It is the year of us recognizing and remembering who we are. And it is a year of giving yourself an incredible amount of grace and compassion and permission to be here, to be now, to be who you are in everything that you do. Drop the anticipation. Stay in your breath and breathe more deeply than you've yet to this morning. Softly bring your palms together and bring your palms and those thumbs towards your heart center. Eyes are still closed, shoulders are still soft. Yet can you sit a little taller in your seat? Can you breathe a little deeper and let the edges of your mouth soften into a smile, one that is full of deep, deep gratitude. And keeping those palms together, can you begin to press them a little more deeply and rise them up one over your head? Keeping the eyes closed, extending those arms up, feel your shoulders draw back. Get a little heavier into your lower body. Root down into your sit bones, lift that chest up. Palms continue to stay together. Allow the back to arch and open up a little bit. Bigger breath in. And as you exhale, bring those palms back down through your heart center. Staying here for one more moment with the eyes closed. What is the intention that you set for yourself this morning? Why did you register for this class? Why did you choose to be here live? Why are you watching a recording, if that is you that I am speaking to right now? Why today? Why was it this offer? Why now in this moment did you choose you? What is your intention right now? How do you want to feel? Connect to a word that represents for you how you want to feel for our time together here this morning. And breathe it into every single cell of your entire body, ladies. Let it move out. And then start to bow the body forward, extending the arms out a little bit wider, like you're sliding them into a wide V position. Let the body move forward and draw down wherever that down is for you. For some of you, you might still be sitting tall, and that is good. Let the body rock a little bit side to side. Maybe take those hands even wider so you can perch up onto those fingertips, bending the elbows and letting the body wave a little bit from side to side. For some of you, this may be the longest you have sat in that seated position for quite some time, and it might feel a little stiff, a little clunky. Bring it all the way up through center and then reach those arms up overhead. Big breath in here. Good. Exhale, tap your right fingertips down and start to walk them a little bit further away. Keep that left hip and bum cheek heavy, and then stretch your body up and over, relaxing the jaw. Spread the fingers, open up your chest, spin to look past that left underarm. Big breath in. Stay here for the exhale. And then inhale, reach it all the way up, tap the left fingertips down, and then stretch and reach that right arm all the way up and overhead. Peel the shoulder back, exhaling deeply. And again, you're not trying to hold the breath here. Don't clench your teeth. Let that body lengthen and soften. And then bring it all the way back up through center. Now change the leg that you have in front. So you're just going to come into what feels kind of more like the awkward position for yourself. And then same thing, bring those arms all the way up overhead. We're going to reach that right hand down and lengthen. We hold on to so much tension in through our side waist and in through our side body. We oftentimes will say it's things like our back that are sore, our hip flexors that are sore. Bring this up, and this time take the left hand snug behind your bum onto the ground. And if you can't touch the ground, just place the palm of your hand onto the small of your back. And then either place the right fingertips in front or take it over to the outside of that left thigh. Big breath in. Relax your jaw as you exhale. And then inhale, bring it all the way up through center. Reach those arms nice and high again. Then you're going to take your left fingertips down and then stretch and reach that right arm up and overhead. And again, instead of thinking about what we're doing next, how does this feel in your body right now? Bring it up and over. Take that right hand behind you. Left hand over to that right thigh, softening. Breathing into it. And bring it all the way back through center. Good. Now from here, what I want you to do is take those legs out long in front of you. Take the fleshy part of your bum out from underneath you. I want you to just kind of drum those calves and hamstrings a little bit. So you're giving the legs a bit of movement. Notice in your upper body when you're doing this, are you back here right now because your hamstrings are so tight? Is everything rounding? If it's not comfortable to be able to sit tall with long legs, I want you to bend your knees a little bit so that you can get yourself right on top of those sit bones. And then from here, take a deep breath in and reach the arms up. Exhale, you're going to hinge forward from those hips, soften the back of the knees. Take the hands outside the legs. Don't worry about touching your feet here. Okay, so again, some of you might be sitting up a little higher, some of you might be down lower, it does not matter. From here, can you bring your chin into your chest? Let the body exhale and soften. Good, continue to breathe, relax your jaw. How does it feel if you point the toes? And then flex. And then roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Good, and then sweep those legs around behind you, coming up onto all fours. So you definitely want to have your hair up into your ponytail now. When you come onto all fours, let yourself just sit back in child's pose for a moment. So take your big toes together, take your knees wide apart, let the arms find a comfortable position out in front of you. You can add that little rock and sway from side to side. Notice where you have your paper, your pen, your journal. And as you be here in child's pose and breathe, I want you to come back to the word, the intention that you set for yourself a few moments ago. Does it still feel like the one? Did you listen to your gut and your intuition? Or did you choose a simple word like, I want to feel good? What does good mean? What is good? sounds like for you? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it taste like and smell like? How does feeling good in your life shift something for you? Is good still a word you want to use? Does it go deeper than that? Roll forward onto all fours, grab yourself your pen and write down what it is that your word is. You only need to write the word, you don't need to give it anything else. Once you're there and you've grounded that word down, ground your toes down by flexing through the ankles. I want you to round your back body coming into cat, deep exhalation. And then top of the feet down, inhale, open your front body through cow, taking a deep full breath in. Exhale, tuck the toes again, round your back body, go nice and slow. Think about moving one vertebrae at a time as you exhale. Then top of the feet down, inhale, open up. So you're unwinding that spine, moving the chest between the biceps, really lengthen your arms here to your best ability. And then again, exhale, round it up. Hold it in cat here, push the ground away, spread the fingers nice and wide, every knuckle of every finger down. Can you soften your chin towards your chest a bit more, lengthening that tailbone? Are you breathing? Beautiful, and then top the feet down, slowly unwind your spine, taking it out of that flexion from cat and moving it into extension through cow. How good does the extension feel in your body? Good, now from here, keep the top of the feet down. You're gonna make circles with your hips and your pelvis. Okay, so if in the beginning you're like, I do not know how to do that, and you feel like, Mrs. Roboto, that is fine. We are just creating movement here. But I want you, and sometimes if you ladies just look at your pelvis, like, am I moving around? What if you were to do the slowest hula hoop motion? Can you do that? And then go the opposite direction. It might feel really good. It might feel really weird. It might feel really tight. It might feel dull and achy depending on what's going on. Right? Come back through center. Now from here, can you come into tabletop, drawing the front of the belly and the ribs up, and then tuck the toes under. Take a nice deep breath in and extend your left leg back behind you. Draw the front of that belly up, firm up that left bum cheek, and push through the heel like your foot found a wall. So you're really firm in this. If it's comfortable enough, can you extend the opposite arm out in front? Right arm, left leg. Spread the fingers, that right palm is facing in towards the midline. Take a full breath in here. And then as you exhale, softly release and tap it back down. Come back into your cat. Round your back, bring your chin towards your chest. So your eyes should be looking towards your pubic bone or your belly. And then you're inhaling and opening up, top of the feet down. Big, big breath in here. And then bring it back to that neutral tabletop. Tuck the toes. Hover the right knee and then start to extend that leg back. Draw the front of the belly in and up. Reach that left arm out in front. Good. Soften through your jaw here. Spread the fingers. Feel your body, how incredible she is. There's so much you can do. So much that you can do. Tap and release all the way back down. Top of the feet down. Extend back into that child's pose. Good. Root the fingertips down. Relax your jaw. Then ground those hands. Wave your body up. Tuck your toes. Come into your first downward facing dog of the morning. Okay, first but not your last. Now look at your feet. You want your feet about hip bone width apart. Do not worry about the heels touching the ground, okay? Some bodies are going to do it and some are not. It's not an ability or not, it's flexibility. Now look at your hands, everyone. Spread your fingers. The creases of your wrist should be parallel with the top line of your mat. Every knuckle of every finger stays down. Don't put all the weight in the heel of your hands and then start to see your fingers curling up. And I'm going to cue you that 100 times today along with your breath. Okay, breathing through it. Get your ears somewhere between those biceps and then widen through the collarbone so that you're not jamming everything up. Your eyes should be looking towards your toes now as you breathe. Let more weight press back into your hips. Imagine I came into your hips. Imagine. And I were to stand behind you and hold your hips and gently pull you back. Can you create that for yourself? There's so much you can create for yourself. Sometimes you just need to hear the cue. Sometimes you need to Hear the guidance, give the permission. Take a nice deep breath and lift those heels nice and high, ladies. Get high, high, high up onto those toes. Start to look forward, bend the knees, and start to take a little walk towards the top of your mat. Good, feet are hip bone width apart. Exhale, bend those knees, fold. Good, if the hands or the fingertips don't touch the ground, either bend the knees more until they do, or you could have your blocks, or you can take your hands behind the calves. Tuck the chin in. So if you still see your toes, you're actually still looking too far forward with your neck. You want to be looking between those calves towards the wall behind you. Beautiful. Now, right now our knees are nice and soft and bendy. How does it feel if you begin to lengthen the sit bones up a little bit? What do you notice? What changes in your body? You're not trying to hyperextend. You're not forcing her to do anything. You're simply changing the shape. We're going, how's that feel? If it feels good, stay. If it doesn't, change it. Come half back. So either onto your fingertips with a long spine and waist, or bring your hands onto your shins so that you have the support. Take a really big breath in here. Exhale, bend those knees and fold. And then we're going to wave that back into half back. Onto the fingertips or hands to your shins, crown of the head stretching forward. Exhale, fold the body back into forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, face up, flat back, big, beautiful breath. And you're going to do that 2 more times. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half back. Exhale, remember to soften the back of your knees, please. No hyperextending. Last time through half back. Good, now start to bend your knees and sit your bum back like you're tapping towards a chair, right? Like you're like, oh, there's a bench in this class, that is amazing. There is not. You have to contract through those glutes, bend those knees. Now from here, you're gonna press down through the ground, start to bring yourself up. Take a deep inhale, reach those arms high. Then exhale, bend the knees, fold the body down, returning into that forward fold. Half back, this should feel familiar now. Exhale, fold, ground your hands. Now step your left leg back and then your right. Meet me again in downward facing dog. Now this time in down dog, you're gonna walk your dog. Okay, you're gonna pedal through the feet, alternating one knee and leg and then the other. Continue where you are. I'm just gonna shift the screen so that when I stand up, I still have a head. Keep moving through it. Amazing. Notice it, ladies. You're not going on a speed walk with your dog, okay? How many of you traded in running for walking, but now you just do a run walk? Slow it down. How does it feel? When you bend your right knee and you lengthen through the left leg, what is your leg telling you? Is it like, whoo, hello hamstring, hello calf and Achilles, where have you been? How does it feel when you switch and do the other side? Right? Breathe. How much do you show up in your movement? Like, do you just move? Do you count reps and sets? Do you just listen to what someone else tells you? Or do you hear your own body and then be like, all right, like I got you. I hear you, I respect you. I'm going to listen. I'm going to lean in or I'm going to pull back. It matters. Lift both heels nice and high. Bend those knees a lot. Look forward. Let's take a little walk again back to the top of our mat. Amazing. Half back, lengthen, find that space. Remember, fingertips to the ground or hands to the shin. Where is your support, not your most advanced pose? Exhale, bend the knees, fold your body in now. Take those hands behind the calves if it's comfy. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, keep the fingertips to the ground. Relax your jaw. How big is your breath? How does your body feel right now? Are you so grateful that you chose yourself this morning? That this is the way that you are beginning the day. This is the way you're choosing to close out the year. Whatever the year was, the good, the great, the in-between. Inhale, half back. Find the length and create the space. This next year for all of you is going to have a whole lot more space for what you desire. Exhale and fold. Now bend the knees. Remember the bench. Let that bum get a little bit lower if you can. I want you to push through your feet. Start to roll up through your spine. Rise up. Inhale. Take that big breath and look up overhead. Exhale, fold once again, ground the hands, step your right leg back this time, and then your left, downward facing dog. Beauty. Now here, ladies, take your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Your pinky toes are gonna touch your edges. Walk your hands back just a little bit, okay? Press your weight back. Remember that sensation of me coming into your house and holding your hips? I want you to go back there. Breathe through it now. Just trust me on this one. Push a little deeper through your right whole hand, not the heel of the hand, finger pads, everything. Can you hover your left hand off the ground? And then can you stretch your left arm over and touch somewhere on the outside of the right leg? And then peek under that right shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Put the left hand down. Look where you're putting it. Take the right hand off. Slide your right hand over to the outside of the left and take that little peekaboo. Big breath in. Big breath out. Good job. Place those hands down. Bring your feet so that they are back to hip bone width apart and shift forward to meet me in plank. Good. Draw the front of the belly and up so you're not sinking into your plank down here. Draw that up. Big breath in. Firm up your thighs. Push the ground away. Feel how strong your arms are, your shoulders. Are you breathing? How strong do you feel when you inhale? Let the belly soften a bit and then exhale to feel that contraction. Can your hips lift a tiny bit higher without sticking your bum in the air? And can you push back through your heels? Firm up your thighs. How strong is your whole body? Big breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg up in the air. This is called three-legged dog. So if you look underneath your body right now, your right toes are pointing to the floor. Your hips aren't popping open. They're nice and square. You're going to point those back toes. Look forward and you're going to exhale. Bring your right knee towards your chest. And then you're going to press and send it up and away. You're going to exhale. Bring that knee forward. Inhale, lengthen, send it up and away. Do that one more time, bringing it in. Push it up and away. Now this next one, look forward, ladies. You're going to step your right foot towards your right thumb. Sometimes you have to go get it and bring it there, okay? Now from here, anchor your back left foot on an angle so that your left toes are kind of pointing towards the top edge of your mat. We're going to come up into warrior one. So bend into that knee where it feels comfy. Where it feels comfy. You don't have to get the hamstring parallel to the floor, right? Reach those arms up, taking a nice full big breath in. Relax your jaw. Beautiful. Now start to open up into warrior two. Your back leg, those toes are going to point towards the edge of your mat, and see if it feels comfortable to bend a little deeper in through that front knee and extend those arms out. Again, relaxing through the jaw, taking that nice deep breath in. Can you look forward beyond your right fingertips? Feel the strength in your legs. Spread the toes a little more if you can here. Good. Now slide the left hand down that back leg. Turn the right palm up, coming into peaceful warrior. Big breath in here. Exhale, you're going to release the hands all the way down, unplug the back foot, step into your downward facing dog. Shifting forward into your plank. If you need a child's pose, please take it, or tap your knees down, bend the elbows. We're going to go down through a half chaturanga, tops the feet to the floor, and then low cobra. So the hands are going to stay down. You're not pushing high. I want you to engage through your glutes and extend through those legs long. Good. If you hovered your hands off the mat right now, can you still maintain the same shape? If you dropped lower, you were probably pushing into your hands. Bhujangasana, that baby cobra pose, we're not using the hands. This is the back body. Take a full breath in. Exhale and release it. Tuck your toes. Now push through the hands, the knees, and the toes to come up. Send your hips back like you're going into child's pose, but then rise back to downward facing dog. Relax your jaw. Big breath in. You're going to take the left leg up now. Look at those toes. Start them off by pointing down. Find the strength equally through both arms. Your whole body is working together here. Breathe. Now point the back toes. You're going to start to look forward through your hands. We're going to exhale, bring that left knee in towards the chest. Then flex the foot, send it up and away. Bring it forward as you exhale. Inhale, up and away. One more time here. Taking it forward, reaching it all the way up. Now you're going to look forward and you are going to step that foot forward. Okay? Anchoring, and I'm going to change sides of my mat here. throw my back to you, anchoring that back foot down, and then you're gonna rise up through warrior one. And rising on up. So you're trying to move those hips nice and square to one another. Relaxing the jaw, press the base of your head back here, look forward. Amazing, now start to open it up, warrior two. Warrior two, get a little deeper, and deeper doesn't mean that you have to go farther to the ground. Deeper can mean it's depth in your breath. You feel more strength through your arms, but not with rigidity. Relax the shoulders. Let the eyes look beyond the fingertips, and then start to slide that backhand down. Flip the palm up and exhale. Good, now start to take it forward. Unplug that back foot, bring those hands down, step back into your downward facing dog. Breathing through it. Lift the heels high, bend the knees, wave forward into plank. You can either join me for your little flow here, or you can go into child's pose. Now you can either take knees down, or you can shift forward onto your toes, bend your elbows and lower all the way down, top of the feet to the floor, low cobra, or you can start to create a little bit more length and space and moving the body up. Be careful you're not here. Get the head of the shoulders and arm bones back and lengthen up, taking a deep inhale. Good, exhale, start to peel the hips and the bum back, tuck those toes, downward facing dog. Relax your jaw, breathing where you are. Tap into the breath. Where is your body at? How does it feel to stand down dog? Do you need child's pose? Do you need a sip of water? Do you need to write how you're feeling? Have you received a little download? Has something come up in your body and in your system? How does it feel to move? How does it feel to remember, to reconnect, to just how amazing you are, how creative you are, how wise you are, how powerful and strong you are? Bring those heels nice and high, bend the knees, look forward. This time walk or maybe hop your feet forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, softly fold. Bend those knees. Imagine the chair behind you. Push through your feet. Lift, bring it all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and fold. Half back. Softly fold. Now from here, choose to either step back or maybe take a little hop back, landing in soft dog, and then find your downward facing dog. Extend that right leg up in the air behind you. Look forward, exhale, and step your right foot forward, coming back to warrior one. This should feel familiar now. Take a nice deep breath in, reaching the arms up. Relax your jaw. Good. Spread the toes. Think about the right hip tracking back a little bit. And then slowly make your transition into warrior two. We're going to start to build on here. Expand through those arms. Your warrior flow, this is you women, this is you goddesses, you are a warrior. Warrior flow is one of the most powerful ways through asana, through the movement, the postures in yoga, to tap into your fire, to get into your Agni and wake up Shakti. This is how you do it. It is not by sitting on that couch all the time. Sometimes we need to sit over there and watch Outlander. Sometimes we do. Other times we need to tap into that warrior that we are. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, you're going to lean forward and tap the forearm down. Now, ladies, put your left hand on your hip. When you arrive here, you don't do this. We're not hanging out, okay? Get your right knee over your ankle. I want you to resist this thigh underneath you. I need you to bring your right bum cheek in and under. Find length through your waist. Spin and open up. Spread your fingers. Every little piece of you that decided to join us this morning, you're here. You're awake. You're ready. Take the breath in. Relax your jaw, spin your palm to face towards the floor, and can you stretch it over your head without bringing your arm in towards your face? Where's the space? Good. Press a little deeper in that back left foot. All toes are down. Start to reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. Now reach your left arm behind you. I'm back in your house again. I've brought your wrist. I'm going to help to pull you up as you push down. Return to warrior two. Take the left hand down the back thigh. Peaceful warrior, you've been here before. Beautiful, release your hands, spin it back in downward facing dog. Good job. Pedal it out. Sweep forward into your plank. Hold your plank. Hold it here. If you need to tap the knees to do this, it's totally fine. If you need child's pose, it's totally fine. Take the breath. What do you need? What do you need? Choose that for yourself. Why don't you? Why isn't that your normal default, to choose the thing that you need? Why are you uncomfortable staying in something that's uncomfortable? Why do you give up? Why do you stay in it? One is not right and one is not wrong. Those of you who choose to stay aren't stronger than the woman who chooses to take child's pose. Your strength comes in you listening to what you need, not doing the thing. It's the listening. Take a deep breath. Press up and back down dog. Relax your jaw. Breathe deeper. That breath should start to feel like the queen of your body. If you're not breathing, why? What are you holding on to? Sweep that left leg up in the air. Look forward to your hand. Step your left foot forward now. Ground that back foot down. Warrior one. Embody it. Press the base of the head back. Relax your jaw. You don't have to know the name of the postures to know the feeling of the posture. Spin and open up. You don't have to know the next best step to know the feeling of where you want to go. That's called your vision. That's why we dreamcast. That's why we journal. That's why we talk out loud. It's why we talk to ourselves. You don't have to understand the next step. You don't have to be able to name it. You have to be able to embody it. What does it feel like in your body to live the life you want to live, to have the health you want to have, the relationships, the money, the purpose, the joy? What the hell does that feel like? That's what you have to tap into. Who cares what the posture's called? Who cares what the thing is called? What does it feel like? How's this feel right now? Is your leg burning? Let's lean into it. Reach. Tap the forearm down. See this here? If you're like this and that knee is back behind the ankle or it's way past the toes, can you please get it over top of the ankle? Ground down to open up and extend. Breathe here. Reach. Anchor that back foot a little more. Spin your palm. Start to extend it over your head, but do not take your shoulder to your ear. Okay? Breathe, breathe, breathe. Amazing. Start to press down to rise on up. Warrior two. Take that hand back, peaceful warrior. Inhaling. Exhale, gently release all the way back to your downward facing dog. Sweep forward into plank. Spin to the outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of your right. Now, if this is too much, you can also put your left knee down and do this from a kneeling, more supportive position. Okay, so some of you are going to have knee down. Some of you are going to have the feet staggered. Everyone's going to lift the hips up and you're going to stretch that right arm up overhead. Breathe into it. Really press down to that strong left palm and arm. Squeeze your inner thighs together, squeeze your bum. Breathe. Can you spin to look to the ceiling? Sweep that hand all the way around. Press your right hand to the floor. You do the same thing other side here. Okay, so either the right knee is down or the feet are staggered. Everyone get your hips higher. Push that ground away. Stretch your arm up overhead. Breathe in and out. Look up to that ceiling. Tap the hand all the way down. We're almost there. Okay, firm up the thighs. Shift forward, either knees or full body. Inhale, take a nice deep breath in cobra, maybe upward facing dog. Beautiful. Lift the body up and back to down dog. Tap your knees nice and wide. Child's pose. Good work. Let the body rock and wave side to side. Grab that water if you need it. A little bit of discomfort generates a whole lot of heat. There's a flame in all of you that I want to help you keep ignited. There is a fire starter that lives in every single one of you. And some of us, that flame is just blazing all the time, and that can sometimes become our block and get in the way. We're doing too much, we're yesing too much, we're trying to take care of everything and everyone else and be responsible for it all, and we feel like we're running around on fire. And some of us, we're out. The flame ain't there. We don't know where the kindling is. We don't give a shit right now, actually. We're just tired. It's the in-between. It's keeping that flame going so that at any given time when you need it to roar, when you need to blaze, when you need to burn something up, to either let it go or to move forward and to give you the fuel to keep going, you've got it. It is too hard when you let it go all the way out to get it back up, and it is too damn hard when it is blazing high all the time to calm it down. We want to find the in-between. We want to find the in-between. And to get there, you have to allow yourself to be in different spaces and environments that sometimes just make you be like, why am I here? Why did I say yes? Okay, one more breath in child's pose. And remember, as anything comes up for you, write it down. Stop and ground it. Roll forward onto all fours. Sweep your body up and back to your down dog. Take your right leg up in the air and step it forward. Spin your whole body to face the long edge of your mat. Now, you may want to have your blocks here. They can go on their highest level. You could use your water bottle, okay? You can use like anything you have around you, a child's toy, a child, a pet. It doesn't matter. Get something so you don't feel like you're bouncing or hyperextending to get your fingertips or your hands towards a surface or towards the ground. And then I want you to exhale and let your upper body soften. Okay, now you can stay on the hands. Softening could be here. I'm just very long everywhere. So coming onto my forearms, it's just like I always say in class, I'm so long, like my head could go through the floor and keep going. I'm long and I have mobility. That doesn't mean that's where you're supposed to go, okay? How's your body feeling? And then can you add a bit of movement? Can you bend the knees, waving side to side a little bit? Allow yourself to let the heels come up as you do this, maybe the toes. Like I want you to just explore your body right now. This is called fan pose or waving or undulating asana. Let yourself go. Can your upper body get a little bit more rounded and bendy versus trying to stay in these tight, straight lines? Okay, bending into it. Good, keep going. You might feel your thighs or your hips cracking and popping. Don't be afraid. Oftentimes that's just the crust and the rust starting to move on and off, and our body is like, haven't done this for a while. Good. Now we're going to start to bend into that right knee a little bit more, and you're going to spin everything to face back to the top of your mat and put your left knee down. Now, if you need to have some cushioning for that back knee, you could either use your blanket or you can fold some of your mat up there, but both hands are going to come inside that right foot. And then top of that back foot is going to come down, and I'll face you forward as we actually do this here. Okay. And then from here, what I want you to do is heel toe your foot out a bit so that hip, knee, ankles, and toes are facing out towards the right side. More space, that's what we've created. Now, can you shimmy your left knee back a little bit more, and then hands on your block or on the ground, can you rock it side to side? Just rocking it out here. Again, relaxing that jaw. Maybe leaning more into that knee, and then you can pull back a little bit. Okay. This is where you get the opportunity to choose the movement. Is it to be still? Is it to go side to side? Is it front to back? Good. And then start to shimmy that foot in a little bit more. Toes and that are still on the angle. Take your left hand a little bit wider. Place your right hand onto that thigh and then open up for a twist here. Good, breathing into it. Can you press that hand into that thigh and kind of lean away from it? So on that right foot, you rolled onto the outer pinky toe edge here. Some of you might be able to reach that right arm around and grab that back foot. And some of you might be like, you're crazy. You choose and you do you. Take a deep breath in. Stay here for the exhale. Beautiful. Release it all the way down. Now stay with me on this. Lift on up. Come back to those wide legs. Take your fold again. Exhaling deeply. Relax your jaw. Wave up half back. Come high onto your fingertips. Take a look at your feet, everyone.
Are they on the same line? Meaning one's not further forward than the other. Draw the front of the belly in and up. And if you need your yoga block here to have fingertips down, please use that. You're going to take your left hand directly underneath your chest. And then from here, you're going to take your right hand to the small of your back. And it's going to be the inside open part of your palm down. And we're going to start to spin open through the body. Twist. Oh my gosh, twists are so potent for our bodies. They're amazing for your lymph system. They're so good to wring out the junk you don't want to take forward with you. If this feels good and this right shoulder is open, so if you're like this right now, I want you to stay where you are and soften your knees to see if you can work on opening that chest a little bit more. That's where you're going to stay. If you're already quite open, I want you to see how it feels to expand the arm up. But if you take your arm up and this happens and your shoulder drops in, please don't have the arm in the air. Take it back down to your back. Deep inhale. Good. Exhale, start to root it back down underneath the chest. Now with the right hand, okay, take the hand to the small of the back, soften the knees to start. Remember the beginnings. Slowly find your way into it for your body. But remember, we want to have the chest and the shoulder open. Let go of the clenching of your teeth. Spread the fingers. Breathe here. Good. Very gently release it all the way down. And then from here, start to shimmy your feet in towards one another. Find your way into downward facing dog. Way forward into plank. Up and back into down dog. Take your left leg up in the air and step your left foot forward, placing your right knee down. And now we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. So you're going to shimmy that left foot out. Okay. Again, I'll show you coming forward. You're shimmying it out. Hip, knee, ankle, and toes. Back foot is down. Hands are going to come down here. And you can start that little rock and wave from side to side. It's a great one to do before or after you do a lower body strength conditioning. Or if you sit at your desk a lot, ay caramba, set a timer, get up and move, have the stuff around you. I have a foam roller near my desk. I have my therapy balls. I have my essential oils. I have all the things around my workspace that help me to press pause, that help me to tap back into myself instead of doing everything for another purpose, for the job, for the people, for everything else. And that's all wonderful and great, but you need to show up to yourself every day as well, okay? And if you get stuck and pinned to that desk, you gotta be careful. It's addictive, okay? It's addictive. The world will go on, but how good will you feel? Start to pull the movement back, and then we're gonna create that little bit of that twist again, okay? So come forward into it, shimmy the foot in just a tiny bit. You're gonna place the left hand inside and you're rolling to the outer edge of that foot. Ground down through this right arm and open up. Can you create a little lean back? Okay, lean back. Good. And then maybe, just maybe, you could bend that back knee and grab the foot. Again, does not have to happen. Okay, breathing through it. But we were given these bodies to attempt, right? To try. And sometimes you surprise the heck out of yourself. Sometimes you try and you're like, that's kind of how I thought it was going to go. But you tried. Gently release it, bringing it all the way back and around. Good. Shimmy it up. Take those feet back nice and wide again. Last little time here, exhaling. Wave it half back. Spin everything to face back towards the top of your mat. Find your downward facing dog. Breathing through it. Good. Take that right leg all the way up in the air. Step your right foot forward and then your left. Inhale, half back. Exhale, forward fold. Let yourself stay here for a moment, ladies. Find your way into your feet. So lift and spread your toes. We're getting ready to come into a little balancing series here. So we want to do some grounding and rooting first. Lift and spread your toes. And if you can, take your fingers and try to spread your little toes apart. Okay, one of the most inexpensive, powerful things you can do for your posture is to go and buy the little jelly toes. You know, the little things you'd use for pedicures, and wear those in your feet 5-10 minutes a day. It will make a massive difference in your structure, not just of your feet, but your ankles, your knees, your pelvis. Take a deep breath in, half back. Exhale to fold. Now bend those knees. Remember the chair. Sit back and come into chair pose, Utkatasana. So I'm going to face forward when we do this. Now, traditionally, Utkatasana would be arms fully up and extended. 20 plus years of teaching movement. Here's what I have found. Most people end up like this because you're also tight through your chest and your shoulders. So instead, how about we take the load off your neck, bring your fingertips out in front, or why don't you bring your hands here into prayer? Now stay where you are. I'm going to show you from the side. Your knees aren't going past your toes. Sit your bum back a little bit deeper if you can. If this feels comfortable and you can maintain a long spine, amazing. But if this starts to happen, please don't do that. Okay, breathing through it. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Relax your jaw. Can you float your right heel up a little bit? Beautiful. Now push up nice and tall. Can you pick that right foot up and then bring your hands to your hips? So balancing postures, they're probably going to piss you off. That's normal. Okay. If you need to put a foot down and come back, you do. If your left ankle and your foot's weeble wobbling, that's the point. Okay. Get nice and strong and tall. Now, can you either hold behind your hamstring or in front of your knee? Give that leg a hug in. Okay. All right. Now we're going to come into Vrksasana, into tree pose. So here, what I'd like you to do, I'm going to show you your options. First option, the most grounded, toes stay on the ground. You let the hip and the knee open up. Second is you would come to the calf. You're never going to put your foot on the inside of the knee. We don't do that on the joint. Okay. Third would be you're going to bring your foot all the way up on the inside of the thigh. Now, when your foot gets there, push your foot into your thigh, thigh to foot. You're going to lengthen and draw that tailbone under. Nice and strong. Oftentimes people are like, my pants are too slippery. It's not the pants. Okay, we're all wearing spandex. It is the foot to thigh connection. You got to mean it. You got to press in. Then from here, bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Relax your jaw. Can you let your eyes look straight out in front of you? Can you find the horizon? Breathe. Notice, where do you clench? Is the first place your jaw? Can you soften it? Can you let the shoulders relax? Are you still breathing? Can you root down? Root down into your core, root down into your foot, and can you rise up out of that? Can you feel as connected and strong and unwavering on one foot as you do on two? Can you fall out of the pose 7 times and come back in and still be grateful for the opportunity to try one more time? Big breath in, big breath out. Now, can you allow that foot to come up, bend the standing knee? Can we try to take our right hand around to grab that right heel and place your hand on your hip? Now, if you're not able to do that, you could use your towel, your sweater, your strap to grab that ankle. You can also choose to stay in tree pose if that felt better for you. Okay, now from here, can you start to hinge forward from the hip? The chest is going to stay high and long. We're not going to round. Can you begin to press your back foot into your hand and then extend your left arm out in front, coming into dancer pose? Relaxing the jaw. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it all the way out. Beautiful. Start to press back into the foot. Come all the way up. Bring that leg up in front, hand to hip. You're almost there. We're going to do one last little thing. Can you open that leg out to the side and then bring it back to the center? So I want you to squeeze that right glute in order to do this. Our hip mobility, ladies, and our pelvic health is so important as we age, as we go through perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. Right? There are a lot of things that happen internally and through the pelvic structure. Having strong glutes, having a body that can move and have the mobility, equal mobility and strength, it is going to help you as you move into those different transitions and seasons of your life. Bring it back, tap the foot down, send the hips out like this, get that trochanter moving. And then we're going to bring it back. Okay, I'm going to go from this side for this. Feet are hip bone width apart. Take that deep breath in. Exhale. You're going to forward fold. We're almost done your standing series, and we're going to be taking it down to the floor. Take it half back. Now bend those knees, sit the bum back. We're going to come back into Utkatasana, that chair pose. So for most people, this is going to feel much better. Also taking the hands to the heart. Some of you will be able to have the arms up. Okay.
So the amazing thing about doing practice together in community, whether it's in person, which I miss so much, or even virtually like this, is you get to witness all these other bodies do it their way. And that can help you to remember you get to do it a different way. You don't have to do it the same way the instructor is. You don't have to do it the same way that the person next to you is. Stop trying to put yourself in those shapes. Where do you need to be? Lift the left heel, push down through that right foot, bring it all the way up, hands to hip. Here we go. Okay, so you've been here before. Ground down, find your strength, find your strength. You choose, are you going to bring the toes to the floor, to the calf, or up to the thigh? Press that foot and thigh together, chest up, shoulders back. Come into Anjali Mudra. When I first started practicing yoga, I was 19 and I'm 42 now. And the balancing series, they used to frustrate me so much. I would always fall out of them. And at the time I was a personal trainer, quote unquote, super fit, and I couldn't hold these simple poses in my bare feet. And I would get so angry and so frustrated. I would leave the room and they would do Shavasana because I thought that was boring to just lie and be still. And I kept showing up. And I remember having this moment with myself where I was like, why do I keep going back to something that frustrates me? And it's because there were so many lessons. Yoga is always what brings me home to my body. Always. There is never a time, even no matter what mood I'm in, how frustrating the practice can feel, I have never walked away from an experience with yoga and been like, worst decision ever. I've always walked away having learned something about myself or remembered. It's the remembering, I think, that is actually more important than learning something new, because you all know things you don't even remember that you know, because you're letting someone else tell you how to be, what to do, all of that. Our fireside chat is going to be so dang good. All right, here we go. You ready? You're like, I was ready 37 minutes ago, Jen. Here we go. We're going to take that foot off, bring it up right here, and we're going to open it up and bring it in. You're going to squeeze that glute and bring it on in. Don't be afraid as well when you're doing your own practice. Go in a different order. Do things slightly differently on one side versus the other. It's that whole anticipation thing I was talking about, right? Breathe and breathe. Open it up. Give me another one. And now can you bring that foot behind you and grab a hold of the ankle? Please bend your standing leg so you're not locking out. This side, let's take the arm straight up. Then start to hinge forward. Press your foot back into your hand. Relax your jaw. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Beautiful. Bring it all the way up. Root your feet to the floor. I want you to do two things right now. I want you to notice where your blocks are, because you will probably need one of them, or your water bottle. You're going to need something that has a little bit of height off the ground. We are going to come into one final balancing asana, then a really beautiful hip release bridge series, and then I'm going to take you to the ground. Okay. We're going to take a nice deep breath in and reach those arms all the way up. You're going to exhale, meet me in forward fold. Good. Now from here, bend the knees and step your right hand a little bit further out in front. And if you need your block, place that a little bit further out in front as well. Okay. Take your left hand to your hip and step your left foot a little bit further back behind you. From here, you are going to begin to lift that left leg up in the air. So we're coming into half moons, your final little balancing pose for today. The right hand or block needs to be out a little bit wider. And you're going to start to open this top left leg that's in the air. Firm it up. Remember the wall behind you, okay? Now, I'm not going to spin to look at you too much because I will fall over. I want you to think about lifting this left leg that's in the air a little bit higher than you think you should. And then from here, either hand stays to hip, or you can start to expand and open up, breathing through it, relaxing the jaw. Good. Some of you are going to stay exactly as you are here for 2 more breaths. Some of you are going to bend the back knee and grab a hold of that foot, pressing that foot into the hand. And then without slingshotting it, you're going to gently release it, tap it, bring that left leg all the way in, forward fold, half back, find the length in your spine. Find the length in the spine.
You're gonna do that one more time on the other side. So have your block out in front if you need it, or left hand a little wider. Lift and extend the right leg up and out. You might even stay here, 2 hands to the ground, and feel like, you know what, I'm not there yet, or it's just, this is not my day for that. And that is beautiful too. Holding it here stronger, maybe choosing to take the hand to the hip and starting to open that leg up. Allow it to go a little higher than you think it needs to. Good, get those shoulders back. That's it, keep breathing. Now either keep your hand onto your hip if that feels really nice and stable, maybe explore taking the arm up in the air. Good, be careful not to lock out the joints. Maybe you bend that knee, grabbing a hold of the foot, pressing through it so it's like our dancer pose. Just, you know, bent forward, touching the ground. Inhale, exhale, slow and controlled, release it. Tap the hand down. Bring that foot all the way down. Please meet me in downward facing dog. Bring it all the way back. Sweep your right knee forward to your right wrist, coming into pigeon. Slide your left leg back, top of the foot down. Wave your body side to side here. Good, now very slowly start to come forward onto your forearms. And I don't want you to rush putting your forehead on the ground. Stay on your forearms here for your first couple of breaths and wave a little bit side to side. Do not pull your foot forward. If you feel like you need more space, simply tuck the back toes and shimmy yourself back a little bit more. And then when and if it feels comfortable, start to take yourself down. You can go onto the hands. You could rest onto your block. You can also stay on your forearms. You don't have to go anywhere. Let yourself breathe. Our hips and our pelvis hold on to so much, not just reproductively, not just the power of potential, but psychospiritually, our pelvis and our hips are our basement in our body. It's where we pack stuff away. It's where we put the junk. It's where we put the things that we don't want to deal with. It's where we put the things we feel that we have dealt with. But every now and again, just decide to surface. We hold on to a lot down there. They are an emotional warehouse for us. Oftentimes they can release tears. They can release frustration. They can also release joy and a giggle. Although you may not be feeling a giggle when you're in pigeon. Be present enough to witness how your body is feeling. And you surrender when your body is yelling at you to get out. To get out of the pose, to get out of the situation, to get out of the funk. Very gently start to rise up. Lean into that back right leg and sweep the left leg around to come in front, okay? So you're bringing that leg up, 2 options. You're either gonna hold the foot and you're gonna rock it here, okay? In fact, let's all just start here. Flex the foot, please don't pull on it. I want you to have it nice and flexed, and you're gonna rock. Now you can stay in this position. If you wanted to add a little bit of length, put your hand behind the hamstring. And as you rock forward, you can add a little bit more length into that IT band and into the hamstring. So you have 2 options there. You can stay into the bench rock, you can stay into the long leg, or you can come into Agni Isthambasana, which is double seated pigeon. And so you're bringing that top leg on top of the bottom leg in the same shape. And this is a deep one for the hips and the pelvis. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. If you're going to continue to rock the legs, stay there as you are. We'll meet you back in a moment. Those of you who are coming forward, you're going to root the fingertips down and get heavier in your hips. So I want you to think about really grounding your bum cheeks down into the floor. And then can you reach your upper body away from that and soften your chin in towards your chest, breathing. What is your body whispering? Maybe it's not a whisper. How often do you move? Start to walk your hands back in, maybe in downward facing dog. How often do you move your body? And how often do you move your body intentionally? Do you go for walks? Do you cycle or spin? Do you practice yoga, Pilates? Do you strength train? Do you stretch? Come into plank. Lift up and draw back. Take your left leg up in the air and slide your left knee forward to wrist, coming into pigeon. How often do you move your body? And do you feel like that's what your body needs? Do you move too much? Are you doing too long training sessions? Are you doing too intense? Are you double stacking your days? Do you never have any rest? Is it always about the grunt work? Is this actually really annoying to you right now to be doing yoga because you want to be doing something more intense? Or do you not have a movement practice at all? Either answer is okay. What's more important is asking ourselves, does it feel in alignment with the way that we want to feel right now and moving forward? Join me down a little bit deeper if you can. So if you want to feel calmer and more grounded this year, is all your intense exercise going to help you achieve that? If you want to feel more connected to your body as a woman, more aware of really what's going on inside, do you think that perhaps if you moved your body more, if you paid her a visit more often, that you would become more aware in a deeper way, that it wouldn't feel like such a struggle? Are you afraid to move differently, less or more? And why? Your body's not here to hurt you. Your body's not here to be against you. And yet, as women, we are dismissed. We are often told that it is shitty to be a woman, that it's a curse, that we have all of these different issues we have to deal with. You have a conscious choice whether or not you're going to believe that BS, or whether you're going to break free from it. Because being a woman is a gift. Each and every one of you are a gift. And the sooner that you can remember the magic and the gift that you are, and that you can reconnect to that, the more love your body's going to feel, the more possible all of this will feel. And the easier it'll be to meet yourself where you are on a daily basis. Your body's actually not asking more of you than that. It's just asking you to show up. Bring that back leg around. And the show up is up to you. It's going to mean something different for all of us. And here's the thing, ladies, it should mean something different all the time. You're never the same day to day. You are a cyclical being. You are in different phases. You are in different seasons. You are in different cycles of life. It is not our job to set ourselves up onto a rigid program and do the same thing all the time, day in, day out, month over month, year over year. That's actually not what your body craves and desires. Your body needs you to have that awareness so that you can wake up and be like, what do you feel like today? And then have a little bit of the tools around you. I mean, the greatest tool you have, like your breath is free, is your body. Bring that leg over top, sit nice and tall. So instead of today or tomorrow or next week, the proverbial, New Year's resolution, start to bring yourself forward or continue that rock. Don't write that list. Don't write the plan that you have to stick to and then 6 days into it feel like you fell off the wagon and now you've got to start all over again. Just start to create intentions. What are some of your intentions this year? Beautiful intention, I want to move more. Awesome. Set the intention. And then from the intention of I want to move more, wake up every day and ask yourself, now today, how do I want to move? Today, what's possible? Today, how much time do I have? Today, where's my energy at? It doesn't have to be so hard. Bring it forward and soften it down. And yet the message that is going to meet you in social media, on commercials, on the radio, on everything else is going to challenge that statement over and over again and tell you it does have to be hard. It does have to be a rigid plan. All of it. Break up with it. Hi, Charlie. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, bring yourself up nice and tall. Circle around and meet me down onto your back. All the way down. Okay, you're gonna have to go on another side so the ladies can see, okay? Yep, all right. Hug those knees in. Give a little rock from side to side. Now extend that left leg long on the floor in front of you and take that right leg across into a lying twist. Extend that right arm all the way out to the side. Good, breathing through it. Base of the head is down. So either eyes are looking up to the ceiling or you can spin to look towards that right arm. Relaxing your jaw. And then softly bring it all the way back through center. Hug that right knee in towards you. Curl your upper body, hugging knee to nose. And then invite your left leg in as well. And now extend that right leg all the way down. That left knee comes in and we're going to take it across the body, coming into a sideline twist. Extend that left arm out, either look up to the ceiling or if it's comfy, turn the neck and head to look to the side. Can you breathe? In twist, we are breathing into the belly and into the ribs. On this side, specifically with the left leg coming across, we're also breathing into the stomach and the spleen, the descending part of the colon. On the right side, it was the liver, the gallbladder, and the ascending. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Bring it all the way back through center. Left knee hugs in, lift the upper body to meet that leg. And bring the right leg in as well. And then ladies, what I want you to do here is let the knees open wide, take your arms and bring your hands either to the outside of your shins or the outside of your feet and rest your head back, coming into happy baby. Good. Now rock your baby side to side. Try to get your shoulder down again. Doesn't matter. If you can't touch your feet, you can even just cradle here. You can put the hands to the outside of the knees or you can hold on to the shins. Right. Eventually that rock will come to a pause. And I want you to send the pelvis forward and use those arms to very gently ground down. Think about pulling on the feet a little bit, not a force, really just a suggestion. And close your eyes. Breathe into your belly. Start to bring your feet in towards one another and extend those legs up. Take the hands off the legs and let the hands come down next to you. Point through the toes and then flex. And then point and flex. Good. If it's available to you and it feels comfortable, start to slide the hands up the back of those hamstrings. A little bit more support. Staying here, carefully starting to slide the hands up the back of the calves, relaxing the jaw. Taking a nice deep breath in. Exhaling. And then very softly bending the knees and placing the feet down. Take your hands onto your belly. Let your feet be as wide as your mat. And carefully start to allow those knees to softly release one side to the other. This is where we're starting to allow our body to get quieter. Get a little softer in your movement. This is not the time to think about what's coming next or your grocery list or anything else. It's not the time to hop up off the ground and to make your coffee or your tea or your elixir for what's coming next. It is a time to stay present. Let any of the outside distractions go, the noise. Let the knees rest against one another. Feet are still going to stay a little wide here. Place one hand over your heart and one hand over your belly. Relax your jaw and breathe. Complete silence. Feel your breath beneath your palms. Very softly, allowing the feet to come in, eyes are still closed, preparing for your final Shavasana. Choose to either keep the knees bent or extend the legs long. Get a gauge of your body's temperature and maybe choose to grab a hold of your blanket and place that over top of your body. Maybe choose to have your eye pillow or eye covering to place over top of the eyes. Allow yourself to settle in. And this is the opportunity where you get to give your body so much gratitude, to give yourself so much gratitude for choosing yourself this morning, for allowing you to be the way that you started the day. Let your shoulders soften. Let that breath continue to move through you. Come back into that place where that intention, the word that you first connected to moving into your practice this morning, becomes the overarching feeling and sensation that moves through you. Feel the joy that you can create in your body by connecting to a simple word: passion, purpose, love, connected, grounded, powerful, courageous, bold, grace, audacity, simplicity, ease, vital, vibrant. What is your word? Breathe it in and let the breath move out, but not the word. What if this year, the thing that you accomplish is not an achievement? What if this year is the gift you give to yourself to be, as opposed to do and to check off the list? What is the gift of presence? The presence you give to yourself, the presence you give to your children, your family. There's a big difference between us showing up and doing for others and being for others. And I know that for so many of you, the story you've been told is that it's your job to be there for other people and to take care of them. It's your job to take care of you. It is your job to fill your own cup. It is your job to be self-centered in the most self-centering way. Remembering your magic and remembering that you are magic, remembering the potential and the ability that you have in every cell of your entire body, and reconnecting to this and reclaiming this. You hold it all by simply being you. And for some of you, that is really hard to take in. We all move through life with these limiting beliefs, these stories, these lies, these non-truths that we tell ourselves, that all of a sudden one day we wake up and look around and go, how did I get here? This wasn't the plan. This wasn't my dream. This wasn't my goal. This isn't the vision. Remember what we tapped into your Warrior series this morning. You do not have to know the name of the thing or where you want to flow to next. What you have to know and understand is the feeling. It's how to embody it. It's knowing the difference between when your breath flows and you're holding your breath, when you feel warm and when you feel cool, when your jaw is soft or when you are clenching, when you feel lit up like that beautiful flame, that fire starter that you are, or you feel dim. That's where the awareness and the connection happens. Take a really vibrant breath in. And as you exhale, release and let go of whatever maybe came up to visit you this morning. Let go of the thing you want to shed, let go of the thing you want to burn. And on your next inhale, pull in,
Pull back in the way you want to feel. Pull back in you. One of the reasons it's so important to be part of a community of other women is so that you can sip from the circle of their collective energy. It's so that you can remember and realize you are never alone. You never have been alone. That we see you and we hear you and we feel you and we are with you. Connection has come in a very different way in the last few years. And we can be mad about it, we can be frustrated by it, or we can choose to embrace it in a way that can serve us and fill us up. I thank you for taking the time to choose this collective circle and energy this morning. I thank you for taking the time to trust your body, to trust me, for choosing to spend the last 75 minutes together when I'm sure there are so many other things that you could have chosen to do. I am honored, I am moved, and I am inspired by every single one of you. And I hope you can feel that about yourself. Taking a collective breath in all together. A huge exhale all the way out, like you are fogging up a mirror in front of you. Inhaling again, pulling all that new energy in. Exhale, letting whatever needs to go, go. 2 more times doing that, making the breath more powerful each and every time. In your next exhale, allow yourself to roll to the side that feels most comfortable for your body. And to very gently make your way back up onto your bum. To join me with your palms together, your thumbs at your heart, your eyes softly closed, your body awake and calmly connected. There is an invocation that I once heard when I was 19 years old and has stayed with me every day since. It means something to me and it might mean something to you. I am only one, but I am one. And though I can't do everything, I can do something. And I will not allow the things that I can't do to impact the things that I infinitely know that I can do. I know this to be true for myself, and I know this to be true for you. You are one very small decision away from feeling completely different, if that is what you choose. And it is always a choice. One final breath in. And if it serves you as you exhale, bowing the crown of your head towards your mat. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for your movement practice this morning. We are going to take a 10-minute little break so that you can go and make yourself an elixir, make yourself a tea, a coffee, whatever you choose. I'm going to press pause on the recording. You're going to come right back into this same room, definitely with a journal, pen and paper, and we're going to spend the next 30 to 40 minutes, fireside chat, just us girls. All right, I will see you back in about 10 minutes. I'm going to record on this now. All righty. Good morning again. Okay, I am going to open up the chat. Give me 1 second here. On the sidebar. And set it to everyone. Okay, so I just typed hello into the side chat bar. If
a couple of you could just type hi or hello back. It just lets me know that that feature is actually working. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I would love to know if there are some of you that would like to share what your intention was that you set this morning, what your word was that kept coming back and moving and vibrating through you. Peace within, strong, to be centered, clarity, connection, calm, renew, present, presence, purpose. Oh, it's all moving so fast. Surrender, strength, freedom. There's a lot of really like calm. It's so interesting. I'm going to let a few more of these come through. Whole, freedom. This is beautiful. Restore, reconnect, love, grace. So I have been teaching a New Year's class for 11 years now. And in the last, since 2015 is where I started to do the work of core desired feelings and working on really setting intentions versus setting goals and getting out of this very masculine energy of being goal oriented, because that is a very masculine energy. Oftentimes the goals that we set for ourselves, they're finite goals, right? There's like, there's an end. So it's like, my goal is to achieve this thing by this date. My goal is to accomplish, X, Y, Z. And then we achieve it. And then that's it. Then it's done. And for me at that time, I really realized that moving towards all these goals and achieving it, it was great. I'd get this like hit of dopamine. I'd feel really good for a period of time. And then I would either kind of feel bored or hi, Pam, or I would just like, I would lose that thing and I would go through these ups and these downs, right? It was like the peaks were awesome. The peaks were when I was like in it and I was striving and I was achieving. And then if I wasn't striving and achieving, then I was in a valley. And then I was feeling blah. And then I was feeling like I had to go and set another big goal and another big thing. And I had to sign up for something else and I had to create something else. Otherwise I couldn't maintain holding that feeling and that's what it was. And that's what I didn't understand, was that I was trying to hold on to a feeling, not a thing. And so in 2015, I made some big changes. And one of them was allowing myself to do what I talked about this morning, which is hold the vision without understanding how I was actually going to get there, without needing to know all of the steps, without making all of it about the dogmatic, rigid, masculine way that it can be. I stopped having these massive, like, don't get me wrong, I still have paper that I keep nearby. And I guess you could call it a list, but not with the same intention. And when I was offering these classes through all this period of time in the beginning, for women, it would always be really like fiery intentions they would set for themselves. Like, I want to be bold. I want to be powerful. I want to be strong. I want to be like lit on fire. It would always be that. And I've noticed in this past year specifically, not even the last 2 years, but in this last year specifically, there is a softening that is happening in so many women. And I look at all of these words here of peace and presence and love and grace and compassion and less judgment and kindness and grounding and connection. And that is the softening. This is the feminine energy. This is, and listen, like feminine is, I think a lot of us need to rewrite and understand what feeling or being feminine means for us. Because for one of us, it might be dressing a certain way. For one of us, it might be wearing a certain perfume or essential oil or fragrance. For another one of us, it might be the one that holds the hug a little bit longer. For another one of us, cooking might make us feel feminine. Being out in nature might make us feel feminine, whatever it may be. I think one of the things that we need to allow ourselves to begin to do before moving into this next year or season or anything that you hold for yourself is to define what feeling feminine feels like for you and for your body, and on an energy level. And what I'm feeling and hearing this whole last year, not just in this class of all of you, thank you for writing those in there, but the women we've worked with in every program, in every capacity of my company, the women that I converse with on Instagram and that my team does every day, is that we've gone from this place of feeling fired up, teamed up with anxiety. So anxiously fired up, like constantly in this perpetual do, achieve, feeling exhausted, feeling drained, feeling heavy, and feeling like, I just don't fucking give a shit anymore. Honestly, that is how a lot of women, when you really get down to it and you ask them, how do you really feel? When a woman tells you she feels tired or she feels okay, or I'm good, any of that, if you spend a few more minutes with her and you continue to ask her more questions, the truth of it all is she's going to tell you, I'm so fucking exhausted and I just don't give a shit anymore. That's the reality for most women. If that resonates with you, put your hand in the air. Okay. And if it doesn't, that's amazing. You don't have to be fucking exhausted to be part of the circle. Okay. You can be the woman that's like, I actually feel amazing and I feel good. And that's all of it. But it's the recognizing and it's knowing that it's okay to admit that, right? That it doesn't make you fragile to admit that. It doesn't make you any less strong. Here's the thing we need to recognize about being women is that our honesty is what makes us strong, incredible women. Our ability to actually cut through the BS and just put it all out there. And when you do that, when you allow yourself to put it all out there and whatever that means for you, it doesn't have to be on Instagram. It doesn't even have to be, you don't even have to like proclaim it out loud verbally sometimes. It can be how, the things you write to yourself, how you show up in the areas of your life. But when you allow yourself to do these things, there are other women that are witnessing you. So many people, I think as women is that we look outside of ourselves for the mentor. We look to someone else to inspire us, to guide us, to, lead the way. And it's amazing. I have incredible female mentors in my life. But what I don't think many of us realize is that we are all mentors. We are all influencing many other people, not just women in our life every single day. We have our kids that we're mentoring, our partners, we have our family, our coworkers, we have the stranger on the street, the person in the store that we have a simple interaction with, that they walk away and think like, she just had such an energy about her, or she was so friendly, or do you know what I mean? Like when you have those moments, that's a mentoring moment. That's a moment of inspiration. That's a moment of impact. It doesn't have to be this big display. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to announce it. It's simply starting with you and showing up as you in those ways. And you'll be blown away what happens with the other people around you, right? I think one thing that has come up a lot in conversation, and we can open up the floor for this, is in the last couple of years, I think there's been a lot more honest conversation that's been happening, and people that are willing to have the conversation and hold space. And we believe we're alone in how we feel or how we think about something or whatever it may be. And then you have that conversation and you realize, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. And then there's a layer that sloughs from that. There's a softening that happens from that. And so I wanted to do the little fireside chat this morning because I wanted to open up the floor for that opportunity to share, to discuss, to ask questions. I don't want to steer the ship this morning. This isn't coming in here and having a chat about what I want to talk about. This is giving you an opportunity to, Michelle, I am going to close. I'm going to remove you because video is on. There we go. Okay. There we go. Hold on. All right. You're welcome, Kathy. So I am curious here. Many of you have been typing into the chat that this is resonating a lot. A lot of you have made big choices this year in terms of family and your job. And I think that we are stepping into a time of so much possibility, infinite possibility of what we can create and what we can say yes to and what we can say no to, and choosing all of that. So I am really curious for those of you that would like to share that are on here this morning. What is something that you are excited about in this year that is coming forward for you? What are you excited about? Or what are you nervous about? What do you have questions about? Reflecting a lot, feeling optimistic, growing a business, right? That's such an honest answer, Melissa, is right now I'm having a hard time being excited for 2022 at all. Thank you for saying that, because it is hard. It's hard when, and I know all of you are coming in from different areas all over the world. But it is hard when we don't have this level of certainty that so many of us have felt like we have had always, not in every area of our life, but with certain things. And, you know, as women, yes, one of you just said it there too. You're feeling like you don't have a lot of control over whether or not your kids are going to be home longer, or whether what it's going to look like, you know, in the household moving forward. I understand that as well too. There's so many, look, can you just see, like, you give women the opportunity to talk, the whole chat is just boom, going in and up. Loving the idea of possibility, excited about finances. I want to teach the way I did in 2019. What does that mean, Natalie? Is that teach in person, or why aren't you teaching the way you used to teach? I want to take better care of myself. Without the protocols, I get that. Let's work on this piece here. What does it mean to take better care of yourself? How many of you, when I asked the question this morning of how are you taking care of yourself? How often are you moving? How do you nourish yourself? How many of you feel like you are a priority for yourself? You want to be able to fill your own bucket without feeling guilty. Yeah. Yes. Okay. There's a lot of yeses, which is good. Some are no. In this reading. Okay, so a lot of it that's coming up is around the guilt of time with your kids or time with your family when you take time for yourself. Can I ask you this? Do you ever feel guilty about taking your kids to their events, to their appointments, to hang out with a friend, to their play dates, to their sports, to whatever it is that they have going on? Never, because that's just what you're supposed to do. Do you ever feel guilty about doing those things for your partner or for your coworkers or for anyone else in your life? Does that word ever come into mind? Guilt, that you feel guilty about those things? No, you know what words probably come to mind? Resent. You probably feel a bit resentful that you have to do those things. And you know what? Some don't. Some are like, nope, that's my purpose. I love to do that for them. But if that is the thing that is getting in the way of you taking care of you, or if you feel like there's no time and space, something has to shift. Something has to shift. No one deserves your time more than you. And you don't have to have an hour. You don't have to have 75 minutes. You don't have to have all that time. You need to have a moment. It literally takes a moment to snap you out of an energetic pattern and to do something that feels like it's taking care of you. And for us ladies, the first thing is actually, it is recognizing that you're not taking care of you. It's recognizing that you want to shift differently. I know a lot of you that think you're taking care of yourself because you get up and take your supplements. Spoiler alert, that's not taking care of yourself. That's not taking care of yourself. That's doing a thing, but taking supplements isn't truly taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is getting to bed. Taking care of yourself is saying no. Taking care of yourself is lying down when you need to. Taking care of yourself is saying, I am not available for that. Taking care of yourself is saying, I am at capacity. Taking care of yourself is getting up and not answering emails and looking at your phone and responding to anyone else in the world before you respond to yourself. Taking care of yourself is feeding yourself even when you're tired. Taking care of yourself is making yourself enough food to put on your plate when you're feeding everyone else. Taking care of yourself is going for a walk by yourself even without the freaking dog. Taking care of yourself is doing the thing that you actually feel heavy and sad about that you're not doing. How many of you as women actually have a hobby? This is my actual intention. Amy Raposo, we know you have a hobby. She is a pickleball champion, Amy, who is on right now. Other than exercise, so Carrie Ann Grant, great comment. Your exercise is not your hobby. This has been one of my greatest challenges, is that my hobby has been movement. That's not a hobby. Here's what's not a hobby. A hobby is not the thing that you get up and just do without thinking about it. A hobby is not part of your everyday. If your hobby is like, for me, movement is, I move my body every day because it feels as gross as not brushing my teeth for 4 days if I don't move my system. Doesn't mean I exercise every day, but when you don't brush your teeth and you have fuzz on your teeth and like you just feel gross. If I don't move in some way, whether it's breathing, stretching, like that's how I feel. Like there's a giant plaque on my body. So I move. That's not a hobby. A hobby is something that brings you joy. A hobby is something that you get lost in. A hobby is something that allows creativity to come through. A hobby is something that, like some of you are right, like I need a hobby. This is my thing for 2022. I don't have a freaking hobby. And I really didn't realize this until we moved our family. And I didn't know anybody out here other than like 5 people, 4 of which I live with. No, just joking. I had like 5 friends out here. And I wasn't doing any of the things I was normally doing. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what do I do with my time? Well, I'll get up and I'll do my normal routine and I'll move and I'll exercise. Okay, well, that hour is done. What's my hobby? I was like, what do I do? What do I do for fun? What do I do for joy? And it took a couple months until one day my kids were like, Mom, we think you should jump out of a plane again. And I was like, what? Because I did skydiving before. And they're like, you should jump out of a plane again. And I was like, why would I do that? And they're like, because you need to have fun. You need to be happy. You need to do something for joy. And I was like, fuck, they see this. Remember the mentoring piece I was talking about? I didn't tell them how I was feeling. I didn't have to. They were witnessing it every single day. And then they told me to jump out of the plane. Now that's extreme, okay? But the message was, Mom, you need to do something for joy. You need to do something that's just for you. You need to do something that makes you happy. And so this is my one intention for 2022, is to find a freaking hobby. And when I say find, I mean find. I don't know what it is, because everything I have done for decades and years has been movement, health. It's been what I do for a living. And that happens a lot of time to us, is we end up like, we teach the thing that we need, or we do the thing that we need. How many of you became super passionate about something in your life and then you're like, I should turn it into a career. I should go back to school for that. And now you just took your hobby and your passion and now you made it a job. And it could still be a passion, but it's no longer your hobby. So what's the thing you crave to do? And I know it's hard right now because not everything might be available, but there is a lot that's available. Cooking, reading romance novels, wood carving, poetry, growing food, pottery, like write it in there, write it down. Taking a sourdough course. Oh, that's amazing. Donna, I made sourdough at the beginning of 2020. Freeze the bread or you're going to eat 1 million loaves in a week, because it's so darn good when it comes out fresh. Horseback riding, art, yes, music, baking. Yeah. Photography, walking, beekeeping. I love that, Penny. Making greeting cards. Oh, this is so good. Learning gluten-free baking, indoor microgreens in the winter for gardening. This is amazing. This is fantastic. Photography, reading again. Yes, that is reading. My goal is to read 12 books this year, which may not sound like a lot, but my goal is to get through 1 book a month. Here's the thing that happens is that, you know what we've replaced reading beautiful paper books with? Devices. And what happens is that, and this can happen to everyone, but I think as women, we do this, we get lost in other people's lives. We get lost in their purpose, in their accomplishments, in their photos, in their accolades and all of it. And we lose our connection to ourselves. And we start to question, well, should I be doing that? Or is that what I'm supposed to be moving into? And we lose sight of what we truly desire, of what we really want to do. And then we get to the end of the day and we think we don't have enough time. But the reality is, if you were to look on your phone, because you can go into your settings and see this, I guarantee you, you are wasting hours a day peering out on other people's lives and being up to date on what's going on with them. There's a big purge that happens in these 2 weeks over the holidays in social media, where there's a massive unfollowing of people and a huge new following of people, because you have downtime. And what you'll do is you'll go through your devices and you'll start to unfollow those you're not feeling inspired by anymore, which is actually a positive thing. I think you need to do a purge, not just in your closet and in your house, but who are you letting penetrate your headspace? Get rid of those that actually are frustrating you and no longer serving you and making you not feel good about yourself. Start to unfollow. Unfollow. I've witnessed a pattern where in the morning I was getting up and scrolling. There was a half an hour. At night before bed, I was scrolling. There was a half an hour. That was an hour of my day. Those books I wanted to read, I could plow through many pages and be inspired and touch real paper instead of being connected to an electronic device, which actually disconnects us. I know right now we're connecting. Virtually we're here, and I'm so grateful for that, and it's so beautiful. But this is how we can connect as a collective in this energy. When you are trying to do something for yourself and connect to yourself, it's not this. You need to touch what you're reading. Paper, books. You need to hold it. There is energy in that. Just like there is a different energy when we get to be in person with one another. There is an exchange that happens. So if reading books is your thing, music, let's bring music back into our homes. Listen, I love Audible. I love podcasts. I host one, obviously, all of it, but I am getting a little sick and tired of hearing someone else's voice in my ear all the time. I want to hear music again. Music that makes me want to dance in the kitchen. Music that makes me want to, dance with my kids in the kitchen, slow dance with my husband in the kitchen. Music that makes me actually feel motivated to get up and do the things that I want to do. Be very conscious of what you're allowing to come into your energetic sphere. Whose words are coming into your head? Whose stories? Whose opinions? Are they yours? Remember what we talked about in class this morning as we were moving. Limiting beliefs, limiting stories, lies, things that we're holding on to that are not even ours. And yet we don't realize that they actually are impacting decisions that we're making in our life. And half of it's not even ours. It's not even ours. Instead of plowing into 2022, with the, perpetual resolution list, the goal list, the all of that, spend time just sitting down and brain dumping it out. Just write and write and write until you got nothing left in there to write. How do you want to feel in your body? How do you want to feel with your health? How do you want to feel in your relationships? I did a whole podcast, as I just said, don't listen to podcasts, maybe that one, where I talk about the different things that you can write about and journal about. When was the last time you asked yourself questions? And here's the thing is we ask questions and then we hear the answer and we're like, nope, not that one. Or we go to someone else to give us the answer. We hear the answer, we question it. And then we have to quiz everyone else in our life. Does that sound like it? What do you think? What do you think? What if we didn't ask counsel? Anybody that lived outside of ourselves, if that was a good decision for us. Okay. All of you just want a book club. That's all I'm seeing go in the sidebar. If one of you want to start a book club, have at her. Here's what I'm not doing this year. Starting another club, which takes away from me doing anything for myself and serving more women. I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm not doing it. That's a boundary. You got 168 hours in a week. How do you want to spend this week? That is a beautiful question to ask. It is a beautiful question to ask. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. A book club would be wonderful, but why do you need to have a club with other women to talk about the book you say you want to read? Read the damn book. Talk to yourself about the book on a walk. Have conversation with yourself about how it makes you feel. Boundaries need to be unlocked, ladies. Boundaries need to be in check. And boundaries isn't about you creating. a brick wall. It's not about you putting armor up and not letting anybody or anything else in. Boundaries are simply about getting clear on what lights you up and what does not, on what your yeses and what your nos are. And that takes time. It might take you the whole next year or decade to get really clear on those boundaries, but you start with one. I think in working with women the way that I have for so many years, in exercise and nutrition, and definitely in the Hormone Project and with the Audacious Woman, is that the thing that we need to spend time really connecting to is we don't trust ourselves. You don't trust your body. You don't trust your choices. You don't trust your gut. You don't trust your intuition. And so it's constantly outsourcing that to get approval or permission from other people. Why don't you trust your body? Why don't you trust yourself? That's a real question I'm asking. I don't know what I need or I want anymore. I feel so lost. I go to the woods daily to think, to breathe, to cry, to come back, because society has conditioned us not to. It's very true. But this is where the cycle ends. It ends with us. We can blame the patriarchy till we're blue in the face, because there's truth there. As women, we have been dismissed. As women, we have been put at the bottom, and we've been told this is the way that it is. We have also been conditioned to live a 9 to 5. If this is the kind of conversation you want to have and you want to break this, join me Monday morning for my masterclass on release. But we can't keep putting it out where it's like, we can't keep pointing the finger outward. Ultimately, we have to turn it back and be like, okay, well, if this is what it is, and this is how it's been, and this is the reality for most of us as women, how do we shift that? How do we change it? We don't need to burn the building down. You just need to start to show up in your life and in a way every day where it starts to feel like you're choosing for you. So how do you wake up in the morning? What are the things that you actually do at the beginning of your day? So we are in winter solstice right now. Winter is the fertile void. Winter is the period of time where it looks like there is not a lot that's happening. There's not a lot of light happening. There's not a lot of life that's happening. There's not a lot of perceived warmth and depth that's happening, but there is a whole lot of growth that is happening underneath it all. And this is that period of time for us as women where we have the opportunity to really pull into our body, to get out of our head. If we continually live in our head and live in a place of logic and it making sense and a formula, you're going to get stuck. And that's the quickest way to get out of your body, is to go into your head. When I'm saying to drop into your body, how are you breathing right now as we're talking about this? When something is a yes for you, how do you know that in your body? How do you know it's a quick yes? How do you know when something is a no? What happens in your body? Do you clench your teeth? Does your chest tighten? Do you hold your breath? Are you like, you feel that, like, when you meet someone or you're in a situation and you're like, there is something sketchy. That's intuition. That's that gut instinct. That's, it's a no. When it's a yes, when you're like, oh my gosh, but here's what we do as women. It's a yes. It feels so good. And then we're like, but wait, how would I do that if, and then, okay, but so-and-so has to be here, there, and then I'd have to figure out that. And then we go into this whole plan of what would have to happen in order for it to be possible. So how do we break out of that? I'm not impervious to it. I recognize it, but I still sometimes start to feel, and then as soon as I'm over there, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And I'm like, okay, bring it back in, drop back into it. The other reason this can happen for us is we are doing too many things. We're doing too many things and we're trying to do them all at the same time. You are a woman with 2 arms, not an octopus. I know we are told we are multitaskers, we are taskmasters. Like, as women, we can do it all and we can have it all. And that's what we have fought for. We have fought to have the opportunity to have a seat at the table, to be it all and do it all. Well, guess what? It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to, you could be sitting here and thinking of all the things and the ways that you want to take better care of yourself. And if it's more than one thing to start with, it's too many things. It's too many things. Don't allow yourself to feel the pressure of all of it. Don't allow yourself to feel like you have to do this thing where it's like, okay, it's 12 months. So I'm going to create 12 goals. I'm going to hit like one a month, like I said about the books, or it's, like, don't do that to yourself. Connie, I mean, it's too many things if you are trying to simultaneously start to exercise for the first time, start to nail down eating perfectly every single day, start to remember to take all your supplements, get to bed 30 minutes earlier, get off your phone, go for a walk in nature every day, have sex every single day, do like anything that you think you want to do. And now you start to stack it all. It's too much. It's too much on top of the house you're taking care of, the family you're taking care of, the job that you're holding down, the other things that are holding space in your head and your heart. It's too much. Do you know why, as women, we love cleaning and purging and organizing? Because it's a visible, tangible, physical way that we can see we're getting rid of shit. And we feel good for a period of time. And then what starts to happen? One of two things. Either it all starts to just show back up again. And we're like, where the hell did all the crap come from? Like, I swear I just donated it all and got it all out of here. Or you become so fixated on the belief that the organization and the structure and the minimalist way is the only way you can have control, that you can't live outside of anything being out of order. And now you spend your day screaming and yelling at everyone because they don't live in that sense of order as well. Because that's actually the only way you're holding it together. I'm a serial cleaner. That was my mom. Biggest heart in the world, but it looked like no one lived in our house. And then I watched my mom end up with type 2 diabetes and a thyroid condition. And it wasn't because of her lifestyle in terms of like her food and all of that. My parents, they grew and made everything that they ate. It's because my mom literally lived a life of servitude to everyone else, including her environment. And it just like, it's that full circle moment. My mom was my first true mirror in my life to show me I don't want a mom that way. I don't want to get my body to that point. Every woman I've ever worked with in my practice, she's a mirror and a teacher for me. And in the work that I do and that my team does, it's not about like, I want to burn every fucking meal plan and protocol to the ground, to be honest. If I could rewrite the way that every level of practitioner care was done for women, it would be helping them to get to the root of the story they believe that is not actually the truth. Because every decision we make about the food we're going to eat, the way we're going to embody the symptom that we feel in our system, our sleep, our movement, all of that ultimately comes down to the way that we truly feel about ourselves or that we don't feel about ourselves. That's why we make the choices that we make. And so, yes, I know for some of you may be like, I don't understand if I actually have this thing that I need to follow the protocol. Yes, that's true. But what if we could just peel it all back and we could start to change the way we educate women and inspire them about taking care of themselves. And we were able to actually break the pattern so that women didn't get to the point that insert ... How many of you have kids that you are witnessing and watching and you're like, holy shit, I'm seeing it. Here it goes. This is the role. We see it in the little inflammatory patterns in their body and the things that we get told as parent, just normal. Their rashes, their eczema, their asthma, their acne, their constipation, their headaches. We just slap a label on them like it's slapped on us. The witnessing is the reckoning. Their anxiety carry in. Yes, it's at an all-time high for kids now. How we help everyone else in our life is by helping ourselves. We need to be grounded. We need to be cared for. We need to understand the things that matter most to us. I'm going to tell you something because I have a front row friggin' seat to this in the line of work that I do with women. And it's really easy to get wrapped up in it. It's so easy. And I the first boundary I hope you can set for yourself for this next week and this next month is to not buy into the thing of the weight loss, and I'm here for all the health goals I am. Please don't allow yourself to move into January being convinced that you need to be and look different than you are right now. Not fucking true. That's called marketing and advertising. If you want to have a transformational year in front of you, you need to burn the shit down, and you need to start with how you want to feel. The way you want to feel is the way you want to start your day. And it's a question you have to ask yourself over and over again. Over and over again. Do not let a magazine or society or a podcast or Instagram or anyone else tell you this is your year to look different. I know a lot of women who look really amazing on the outside and feel like absolute shit on the inside. It's an image. Focus on how you want to feel first. What's your vision? What's your vision? So we talk about words. How do you want to feel moving into this next year? The vision attached to the embodiment of that feeling is like, okay, I want to move through my day and still feel like I have some energy at the end of the day. I want to climb into bed with my partner who I love and I'm attracted to, and have enough energy to actually be intimate with them. I want to be able to have the energy to cook that meal. I want to be able to insert whatever it is. What do you want to be able to do? I want to have the energy to be able to drop this fucking story I've been carrying around forever. I want to be able to have the energy to be so grateful that it might feel like there's lots of things happening in my body, but my big toe still works. So I'm going to use my big toe until my second toe next to it starts to work too. I'm going to show up in such a state of gratitude for the fact that I have the ability to take a full breath and live another day. And I'm going to get my ass off the goddamn couch and stop feeling sorry for myself. I am going to be grateful that I chose to be here at this time right now. May not have all the answers, may not understand, might want to go back and reread that contract and ask why I agreed to it, but I have chosen to be here right now for a reason. I'm watching a lot of you write in a thing about your weight loss. What if the reason that you're not losing the weight has nothing to do with the amount of protein and vegetables and water you're drinking? What if it has the fact to do with, before you wrote that, what you wrote is, I feel so lost and don't know what makes me happy and brings me joy anymore? Our bodies don't naturally hold weight because they want to. Our bodies hold weight because we need to have weight to be healthy. You can't have healthy hormones without body fat. PS. Don't try to lose your ass. You need your ass. Your ass is helping your hormones. Okay. Number one. Secondly, when our body is holding anything, whether it's weight, inflammation, pain, discomfort, it's because there is something else there within it. I love my ass too, Amber. All my health issues are 100% from my mental state. I'm going to share something with you that happens a lot in sessions with women. So we will do work on whatever it is that her intention is around her health and her body. We'll come back together for a follow-up call. And she will say to me, I'm sleeping better. I don't have the same cravings that I used to have. My bloating is so much less. I'm going to the bathroom more often. I notice that I'm not as edgy as I used to be. My periods aren't quite as bad. I actually didn't even know this next one was coming. I didn't have the normal PMS that I would. And she'll go through all these different things and then say, but I still am not losing any weight. So what we're doing isn't working. Do you see the problem with that? Can sit and tell me, like she's just rhyming off something she's reading out of a book, very matter-of-factly, all the ways that her life, her daily struggles are improving. But she's not losing weight. So what we're doing isn't working. We hold on to this thing. For some of you, it's not your weight. For some of you, it's this thing that looms over you with your money, with your business, with your family. But we all anchor ourselves and hold on to this one thing as being like the gospel of whether or not we're being successful. And I just want to burn it all to the ground. I had my most successful year in business of my life this year, and I'm ready to burn the whole thing down and start again. Because here is what I have learned. How we've always been taught as women, the way that we're continuing to teach women, it needs to change. The focus has to change. The focus has to change. Less is always more. And that is our actual innate, that's our innate being, ladies, is less is more. We weren't designed, I'm going to, and just stay with me for a second on this. We actually weren't designed to work corporate. We weren't designed to be working these long ass hours. We weren't designed to be running back and forth, wearing umpteen different hats between our family and, the job and the expectations and, all of this and that. We are literally physiologically and biologically as a woman, you are not designed for that, which is why we struggle so much. Why do you think we struggle more? And I'm not saying men don't struggle, because they do. And I pray to God there is something like this for men that people start to rise up and do, and for our boys, because they need it too. But why do you think that men and husbands can just sit back and not feel, and you look at them and you're like, why isn't this bugging you? Why aren't you as stressed out? Why aren't you impacted? Why do you think that is? Because you freaking carry it for everyone else. And because we're showing up and doing umpteen different things they don't need to. And it's not their fault. You can't get pissed off at them. You actually also can't expect them to do the, make the shift and do the changing. You have to lead by you doing it for you. So you need to drop some of those things. We are not designed for this. One of the easiest ways you can start to do that, because right now it's like, holy shit, this is just overwhelming. Start to listen to the cycle of your body. So here you have two ways to do this. If you have a period, you have 4 different phases in your cycle that you go through every single month. Okay. This is what Synced is all about. And I've done lots of free podcasts on this as well too, that you can go back and listen to on the Simplicity sessions. Every phase of your cycle you move through, you're hardwired a little differently for how you show up. So maybe in that first half, I'm going to get there in menopause. Okay. So just hold tight. Maybe in the first half, that follicular and ovulatory, that's when you're like, I can do the longer days. I've got the energy in me. I'm feeling awesome. The second half, when you come into the luteal phase energy, no. And if you ignore this and you push and you push and you push, your body is going to talk back. Your energy, your mood, your mental health, your physicality, your joy, all of it is going to talk back. Now, if you no longer have a period, and maybe you don't have a period because you are postpartum, you have amenorrhea, you are postmenopausal, this is where you can tap into one of the most vibrant energetic frequencies, which is the moon. And this might feel woo to you. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not, it's happening. Okay. When you go through menopause, your connection to the seasons that we move through and to the moon are some of the most powerful. Every phase of the moon is also in accordance with the phases that you used to move through your menstrual cycle. And again, I've done lots of podcasts all about the moon phases and the menstrual phases. There's a really amazing book called Moonology by Yasmin Boland. I'll just write it in Moonology. It's a really good book if that's something that you're interested in. But this is one of the ways that you can start to tap into that more quickly without, you don't have to create a list. You just need to be aware. You just need to understand a little bit more. The reason our energy ebbs and flows, ladies, and how one day we can feel good or one week and then the next day we're not, is because you're not the same person. You literally are not the same in your body. We are not meant to work 9 to 5. We are not meant to, be working 365 days a year. We are not. And it's hard if you're in an environment where that is the expectation. It's like, well, what do I do? Do I just go into my boss and be like, listen, I am in the first half of my cycle, and this is what you're going to get from me. But then when I go into the second half of my cycle, these are my hours and this is what I'm available for. It's not like that. This is an awareness that you have to have about yourself so that you can start to connect to what you need to do for yourself. If you are in a phase where your energy is not there and you're just not feeling like this is the day, but you have back-to-back meetings, you've got presentations, you look at that day and you're like, how am I going to get through this? You need to look ahead before that day hits you. You need to double down on how you take care of yourself, your sleep, balance your blood sugar, hydrate, ask for help. Ask for help. Let the house be a freaking mess. Walk over the piles. Do those things so that you can have more space and freedom to feel like you're being held inside of what it is that you need to do. But start to understand your body, ladies. Please, please, please allow yourself the opportunity to be educated about your own system. It's really important. And I've yet to find, you're going to have to look in a couple different areas. There's not like a Bible about that is going to teach you everything that you need to know. And quite honestly, you can't hang your hat on a book, any book, no matter how good it is. You want to read, you want to learn, you want to take a little bit in, and then you want to tap in and tune into your own body. Okay. So giving yourself that permission, and all of us are impacted by the moon. You don't have to be in menopause or post-menopause, literally like from the moment you are born. And this is like, you can pull your astrology into that and understand like your moon rising, your sun rising, all of that. There's so many different energetic blueprints that you can be tapping into. You don't have to, knock yourself over the head with all of that. I am just saying that if you are feeling stuck and lost and you want to get out of the habit of, having the big long list, choose to stop it. Simply choose to stop it. And start something fresh and something new. Go back maybe and listen to some of those episodes that I was talking about. Maybe join us on Monday for the masterclass. It's at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon. We do have a 500 cap on that. I knew it when I woke up this morning, the Zoom of Land. I just had intuition. I just had this gut thing that there was 1,000 of you coming in, and I was like, there's not going to be 1,000 who are going to be able to get on. Thank goodness for recordings. But on Monday, there is get on early if you want to get on, because we have a 500 cap for it. The link is jenpike.com/live class. We'll send it in the email for this. And somebody asked a question I saw in here with, how do you know, this is where I'm going to end this. We're going to move into the rest of our day, is how do you know the difference between listening to your body and making an excuse for yourself not to do the work? And I think that's a really powerful question. So here is the difference, is that, and I talked about this when you were moving this morning, that sometimes our growth is going to be uncomfortable. Most times it is uncomfortable. It's distinguishing between, is this discomfort actual pain? Is the reason I am choosing not to do the work or not to do the movement or not to do whatever it is because I literally physically cannot? Or is it because you are scared? The reason for most of us as women that we actually play small and don't say yes to the thing that we dream about doing, we talk about doing, we write about doing, is that we're afraid of what will happen if. What's going to happen if we actually like that? What's going to happen if we get stronger? What's going to happen if we're more successful? What's going to happen if people see me? What's going to happen if I put myself out there? What's going to happen if I succeed? Most of us are actually just afraid what's on the other side of our yes. And that Yeah, afraid to fail for sure. And this is why this time of year sets us up for feeling that sense of failure. Like everything is stacked up against you at this point right now. Most people between Christmas and New Year's are already feeling like I ate too much, I drank too much, I didn't do this. You look back at the year and you're like, ugh, I never accomplished that. I didn't do this. It can be a really exciting time, and it can also be a really like, ugh, thick kind of time. The only way you're ever going to grow is if you let yourself fail. The only way you're ever going to grow and shift and change anything is if you allow yourself to try something new. My whole life's goal, I would rather have the most infinitely long, huge ass sheet of never ending paper of all the things I tried, not the things I succeeded at, all the things I tried, than a small ass post-it note from the things I succeeded in. I don't give a crap about that stuff. You're never going to figure out what you are meant to be successful at, what your purpose is, and what you're capable of if you stop trying. If every time you're about to do something, you say tomorrow, next time, next month, next Monday, next year, you have to allow yourself to fail. I'm going to bring you back to this one thing about children. Our kids fail every single day. Every single day, every new thing they have tried from the time they were born, trying to crawl and stand and walk and run and a new sport and reading and writing and everything. Our kids fail every single day. And have you ever witnessed a child fail and say, you're right, you suck, you should never do that again? Let's just stop. No, you are a cheerleader. You are a mama bear. You are in there and you're like, this is how we learn. This is what we do. We get back up. You have to be that person for yourself. Stop looking outside of you. You need to be that person for you. And if you can't be that person for you right now, surround yourself with a group of women who can be. Surround yourself with the words you need to hear. Surround yourself with affirmations. Pull a deck, pull a card every morning for yourself. I don't care what it is that helps you to stay in that vibration and that energy. 100% it's okay to fail, Chrissy. The only way you grow is if you fail. I don't know a single person who everything they've tried, they've nailed and gotten right. The only way we are sitting in technology like this is because someone tried to figure this out a million times over and failed a million times. And on the 1,000,001st try, they figured it out. The only reason we're sitting in homes with heat is because someone failed and then tried and figured it out. The only reason we have access to every single thing that is around us in our life is because failure happened before success. If you don't believe that failure is necessary or that it's possible or that it is part of the journey, you need to have more conversations with more people. There's not a person who isn't failing right now. And I happily fail every single day. Happily fail every single day. If we're not failing, we're not learning. That may be the greatest thing you take away from today. If you are not failing, you are not learning. Yes, we are all going to happily fail together in 2022. So choose maybe this year to celebrate your failures as much or even more than you do your successes. I want to say thank you all so much for this morning and spending the time with me and the time with yourself and the time with all of these other amazing women. It really, truly does mean a lot. And for those of you that are joining on Monday, I look forward to seeing you live. If you can't join us Monday or you're interested in just receiving the recording, I'll let my team know for all of you who joined us for yoga this morning to also send you out the recording for the masterclass on Monday so that you can have both of those and you can just listen to them at any time and have that in your ear when you need to hear it and be reminded. So thank you all so much. I see you, I feel you, I hear you all. I am rooting for you. I hope you fail with a whole lot of joy this year and laughter and a smile on your face and big love in your heart. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll ring in New Year's at 9 p.m. tonight with all of you, because that's my bedtime, even on New Year's. Have a beautiful rest of your day, everyone. I'll see you soon. Take care.